Good morning and welcome to the Mayor's Weekly News Conference. For today's agenda, we will announce a community-based crime reduction grant from the Department of Justice, announce a DOJ grant for body-worn cameras, a Justice Assistance Grant, or JAG, and a Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant. Remind residents of odd-even parking, which begins tomorrow, proper leaf disposal, and Halloween trick-or-treating hours, and provide an update on LERTA. And now I'll turn it over to the Mayor.
Thanks, Renee. I think we're going to hear something about beards today, too, aren't we, if I'm not mistaken. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. And since I almost always forget, I'm going to do it now. I want to welcome Kathy Shaw from City Council, who's here with us today. Thanks for being here, Kathy. First, we're very excited to announce this grant of $958,434, almost $1 million, from the Bureau of Justice Assistance, which is a component of the Department of Justice's Office of Justice Programs. The funds will be used for a crime reduction project on Erie's east side. The neighborhood runs from Holland on the west over to Wayne on the east, and from 6th Street on the north to East 26th Street on the south. The zip code is 16503, and there are 8,855 residents in this neighborhood. The Bureau of Justice Assistance helps American communities be safer by strengthening the nation's criminal justice system. The training and technical assistance, along with policy departmental services, provides state and local governments with cutting-edge tools and best practices to reduce violent crime and drug-related crime, support law enforcement, and combat victimization. The goal is to reduce crime, increase trust, and improve community safety as part of a comprehensive strategy to rebuild and revitalize our neighborhoods. To tell us more about this community-changing grant is our research partner, Amy Eisert, Director of Mercyhurst University Civic Institute. Amy, come on up.
Good morning, and thank you, Mayor. The Mercyhurst University Civic Institute is really proud to be partnering with the City of Erie and the City of Erie Police Department on the Community-Based Crime Reduction Initiative, CBCR. This is a Department of Justice initiative that partners researchers with practitioners and law enforcement to use data in order to identify what the underlying causes of crime are within the specific target area. In this case, it's the Lower East Side. The project brings together law enforcement, residents, and researchers to implement strategies that are going to address those root causes of crime, promote revitalization, and strengthen community police relationships within the target area. The project will not only work with the City of Erie Police Department, but also the District Attorney's Office, the Assistant U.S. Attorney's Office, the Sheriff's Department, the Neighborhood Resource Organization, the Snoops Neighborhood Watch Group, the Sisters of St. Joseph's Neighborhood Network East, Serve Erie, the Creative Community Connectors, which we are more familiar with calling them the Bluecoats, and the East Side Eagles. The project will build upon strengths and resources that are already present within the target area. It'll work to establish those innovative strategies to promote working smarter to reduce crime efforts within that area. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Amy. That's really great, and I really love the way you've kind of pulled together everyone with an interest in that area, people working together to make that neighborhood safer. I also want to acknowledge another Amy Johnson from the Mercyhurst Civic Institute, who's here with us as well. Thanks for being here, Amy. Next, I'd like to introduce District Attorney Jack Denieri to say a few words on what this grant can do for Erie. District Attorney will be working diligently to provide cross-sector support this grant really needs in order to succeed. District Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I think Amy said it best, and just the description of the grant itself, a community-based crime reduction. You know, a number of years ago, when we formed what's now entrenched as Unified Erie, we talked about what Amy mentioned, which is a smarter way to fight crime in the city of Erie, and really the county, but primarily the city. And we realized that the old ways of doing it, just going out, patrolling, and jumping out of the car and making arrests or really responding to calls, that although that could be effective, it wasn't really the most efficient and best way to do this, law enforcement. So taking models from across the nation, and as you see in your materials from Boston Ceasefire, we realized, you know, if we could use our resources, use data, information that we have that is kind of just on everyone's desk but no one's gotten together, if we could pull it all together onto one theoretical desk, right, and we look down at our information, we could actually identify a core group of individuals that are causing a majority of the problems in our community. And that's the smart approach, or smarter approach, to law enforcement. And so out of all that was the enforcement arm of Unified Erie. Now, of course, there's also the community-based arm, or the improving the neighborhoods. In that, the prevention, we have the Neighborhood Resource Organization, which too was formed, saying, you know, law enforcement's going to do their thing over here, but we need the neighborhoods to step up. These individuals, these law-abiding citizens in their neighborhoods, they don't want the crime any more than anyone else does. But for whatever reason, the crime might pool there, might exist there. So it was to energize from the ground up a true grassroots program of having the neighborhoods, the community get together and assist law enforcement. And I think that this grant is absolutely, it just really amps up that effort started a few years ago. That's still out there, but it needs an injection, and this is exactly what we've been hoping for. So when you, as been mentioned, the cross sectors of law enforcement and the community that come together here are vitally important. We will not arrest ourselves out of this problem of crime in our city. It takes the community to also say, how can we fix these other problems? It's not just law enforcement's job to put handcuffs on people and put them in jail. It's about helping those getting out of jail. We know about that from ECRSSA. But really it is entrenched in the neighborhoods. If we could have the neighborhoods work arm in arm, hand in hand with law enforcement and the other parts of our community, social service agencies, what a difference that would really make. And so I'm proud to be a part of it, always will be, and I thank the mayor and his team for securing this grant. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Jack. This is really an important and exciting initiative that's going on. We look forward to working with you and all of our partners. Combined with other East Side projects, this work will be transformational and help us make this East Side neighborhood safe, welcoming, and vibrant. There'll be more details to come in the months ahead, but our general plan is that during the first year, we'll use the planning and implementation funds to develop a complete strategic, collaborative, and community-oriented plan to reduce crime, and then we'll implement that plan over the next 3 years. I'd also like to thank everyone who worked so hard to win this grant for our community, especially Abby Skinner, the city's grant writer. I also want to thank Deb Smith, who will be taking the lead on the implementation. Thanks to both of you for what you do. I also want to commend Jack Denieri for all the work he does trying to reduce the amount of crime in Erie by moving Erie youth, for instance, into nonviolent, family-oriented, successful ways of life. He's been very active in programs like Unified Erie, which he described in detail to you, and strengthening police-community partnerships. Jack, I really appreciate all you do. Thanks very much. Also want to acknowledge Kyle Hannon. Is Kyle here? Thought he was going to be. I don't see him, though. He's from Senator Casey's office, and obviously that office was also very important in moving us forward. So next you'll see that Abby has been working very hard. Our next topic, in addition to the community-based crime reduction grant we just discussed, the city received 3 more grants. They totaled $298,209. These grants are for body-worn cameras by our police. The 3 grants are from the Department of Justice grant, we received $247,500. From a Justice Assistance grant in the amount of $34,977. And a grant for bulletproof vests for $15,732. Again, that's a total of 3 grants for $298,209. Next, I'd like to invite City of Erie Police Chief Dan Spizzarni to the podium to provide insight on how these grants will be used. Chief Spizzarni. By the way, I also want to thank all the policemen who are here today showing your support for these initiatives. Thank you.
Okay, the first grant I want to speak about is the body-worn camera project. It's been ongoing here now for a little over a year. We've been working on this. And this grant of $247,000 is going to help us purchase 140 camera units for all uniformed patrol officers. Now, besides the actual camera, the charger, the software, the licensing cost, and also the training, that's why it costs up to $247,000 to put the program together. Currently, we're testing cameras from WatchGuard system. This is the second company that we've been involved in testing. The first camera company was GTAC, and we are preparing next week to begin with the third company, which will be Axon cameras. 6 officers have been out on the street. They've been wearing these body cameras and evaluating the systems. We expect to do the final evaluations on all 3 companies and choose the system that we want probably early into the beginning of next year, in 2020. Now, the Department of Justice is going to be coming in, and they're going to review our process to ensure that we've taken the proper steps in developing the program. Once they've cleared us that we've done all the proper steps, the money will be released. So the timing is working out great here. Now, an important part of the project we've been doing, besides evaluating the body cameras, is each company has a dash cam for the car. Now, although these dash cams are not part of the grant, it is something that the city, we believe, is very important, and we are looking at spending our own money to do that. We know having a view from another angle could be very important in certain cases. So we're working to get the complete picture, and this way things will become more transparent as we continue in our policing. We want to continue to build the trust within our community, and this is one of those projects that's going to help us greatly. The next grant I want to talk about is the Burn Memorial Assistance Grant. It's called a JAG. This was $34,000 roughly, and it's a city-county project. And what we're going to do is two parts to this. The first is we're going to purchase our second license plate reader system. Last year we obtained our first system, was donated actually by the auto theft, Pennsylvania Auto Theft Detail. This is a 3-camera system that goes on a car, and as it drives down the street, it's capturing the license plates of the parked cars and the cars that are going past us. So far, we've been recovering stolen cars because of it. We've also captured wanted people because the license plate will trigger if that owner is wanted, and we're arresting people. We're looking at having the sheriff's warrants included in it. We can also tell if a car's license plate's been expired or if their insurance is expired. If the officers have time, if they're not on another call, those are things that they can follow up on the street. So that second license plate reader system will be very important to help the officers on the street. We're also going to use the other half of approximately $11,000 to clean and repair our indoor range. We have a 15-yard 4-station shooting range in the basement of City Hall. That's used by our officers 3 times a year to qualify with their weapons. Also, the SWAT team uses that on a monthly basis to shoot. It's not just the Erie Police Department. The Sheriff's Department comes over and uses it, as well as the county probation officers, county detectives. This is a local asset that we share, and that money will go to help get that back up into a good condition. The last grant I'm talking about is the Bulletproof Vest Partnership 2019 award. This was $15,732. And what it's going to do is through 2021, it's going to reimburse us up to 50% of the cost of a new bulletproof vest for officers. Our vests right now are running approximately $800 per vest, so they're going to cover up to almost $400 on those. Our vests are warranted for a 5-year period. So every 5 years, we have to replace an officer's bulletproof vest. We expect to replace approximately 25 to 30 per year. So we'll go through that money and no problem, and it saves the city, and we can put that money towards some other things. I know that we've recognized several people helping with the grant process. Abby's been our grant writer's been great. I also want to give a shout out to Donna Sammel. She's the executive assistant in the police department. She's been working hard with these. The last thing I have is not on the script, but last year we tested out No Shave November for the police officers. We received a lot of good response from citizens, and we're going to roll it back out again tomorrow. So, Mayor, feel free to join us. Put that shaver away for a while, and the officers will donate $25 apiece, and we'll send that money to charities so that get a little reach out here as the holidays approach. Watch out for the look of the new officers. Thank you.
Chief, in a couple weeks, I think I'll catch up to Michael Outlaw. And, mine will be a little grayer than his is, but thanks. These upgrades will allow our police force to become better equipped to handle situations that arise throughout our community. Body-worn cameras and car cameras are important technology that can assist officers as well as protect residents and our police officers. I appreciate the hard work that you and your team have done researching best practices, policies, and procedures, as well as testing the 3 different models. Thanks very much, Chief. I also want to reiterate my thanks to both Abby Skinner and Donna Sammel from the Erie Police Department. Abby and Donna worked together to obtain these grants, and Donna, I believe, deserves a lot of the credit for the JAG and the Bulletproof Vest grants. Thanks to both of them as well. Next, we want to remind residents that odd-even parking for the winter season goes into effect tomorrow, Friday, November the 1st. It will run through March 31st, so it's about a 5-month program. The parking restrictions are in effect from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. throughout the week. This is not normally in effect on weekends unless there's severe weather that is forecast. If we expect heavy snow on a weekend, we will implement the winter parking restrictions and ask residents to abide by the odd-even parking on Saturday and Sunday that weekend. This allows us to remove snow quickly rather than letting it build up, get icy, and matted down. This approach really worked very effectively last winter in the 2 weekends that we did it. Also, please note that December and January both end on the 31st. So as a result of that, there'll be 2 consecutive odd days since both the 1st and the 31st are odd. So you'll park on the same side 2 days in a row. We've also had some complaints from city residents about the disposal of leaves throughout the city. City ordinances state that no resident shall dispose of leaf waste with ordinary household waste or recycled material. Leaf waste must be separated from other municipal waste generated at homes, apartments, or other residential complexes. Leaves should be placed in open, rigid containers and deposited at curbside on your garbage collection evening. Residents should not rake leaves into the street. I'm going to repeat that. Residents should not rake leaves into the street. Wet leaves create a public safety issue for motorcyclists, bicyclists, and pedestrians. Leaves also clog our storm sewers. In addition, dry leaves are a real fire safety hazard. Due to the hot engine, when cars park on top of dry leaves, they can catch fire and ignite the entire vehicle. Chief Santone advised me that we had several fires of this nature last winter. I strongly urge residents to rake their leaves and dispose of them properly in open, rigid containers on your garbage night. The codes and ordinances can be found online at https://ecode360.com/ER3969. Did everybody get that? You can also translate that into 100 different languages. Finally, I want to remind everyone that trick-or-treating hours in the city are tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. But we're making an exception for a couple hundred children who are coming to City Hall right after the press conference to trick-or-treat here on each floor. Finally, on LRTA, during the last 5 business days, we've had 2 new LRTA applications with a total investment of $885,899. There was one commercial application for $710,899. That's for a 1,300 square foot diesel fueling station on West 12th. And this is really exciting. The one residential application was for $175,000. It's for a new single-family home on West 40th Street. I don't know how many years it's been since we've had a new home built in the city, but that is very, very exciting. So yesterday was the 84th business day, so we're just over 4 months since the implementation of the new LRTA program back on July 3rd. And as of yesterday, October 30th, we've had 70 LRTA applications with a total investment of $21,575,635. I continue to be very pleased with LRTA progress, and I look forward to reporting to you on it to you again next Thursday. That concludes today's press conference. Everybody spoke, is available for interviews when we conclude. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks to Downtown Dan, too, for being here.